So today we are going to be debating one of the most relevant topics of our generation. Is social media more harmful or helpful for our society? Social media refers to websites and apps like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and Facebook that allow people to create and share content and connect with others online. These platforms have only been around for about 20 years, but they have completely changed the way we communicate, learn, and see the world. Today, over 5 billion people around the world use social media, and the average person spends about 2 to 3 hours on it every single day. While many people believe social media brings people together, helps people learn, and gives everyone a voice, others argue that it is damaging to mental health, spreads misinformation, and creates more division than connection. Both sides have strong arguments today, and that is exactly what we are here to do today, which is explore whether it's more harmful or helpful for our society. To start, for the affirmative side, we're gonna have Angelie and Asael. You guys can come up. For the negative side, we're gonna have Busy and Shamia. You guys can take a seat. The affirmative side go first. You guys are arguing that social media is more helpful, followed by the negative side. Speaker number one, you're up.
I'm Angelie, and social media is more helpful to our society because it spreads awareness of important issues. Did you know that the creator of the first social media platform, Andrew Weinreich, said himself, "Our goal is to build a community, light a beacon." This is an online service that people use to make life more efficient. According to Fielding Graduate University, an article on the murder of Gabby Petito states, she was not the typical influencer, grandstanding fancy outfits or pouty lips, but she presented an authentic, book-to-nature way of life. Ryan Laundrie, her pathetic excuse of a fiance killed her in the middle of nowhere. Social media helped shed light on this case and bring it to the attention of authorities. Another article about the use of social media and the opinions that follow it. Pew Research states, nearly 80% of U.S. adults believe that social media platforms are effective for raising public awareness about social or political issues. Lots of news stations, schools, and other organizations use social media to share important updates. Some news stations have apps, but what if the apps undergo maintenance? Social media gives people a way to spread information. Sure, there's misinformation, but just like in the game Telephone, where you whisper a word into someone else's ear, and then so forth, the source can always be found. Social media allows people to express their use of their First Amendment right. Cyberbullying happens, but you can always block and report it.
Thank you.
So as Mr. Rasan said, we're talking about how social media is helpful for society. And if you don't mind me asking, how did you get to work today? Like, you drove your car, right?
I drove.
You drove your car?
What is your name? You haven't introduced yourself.
Oh, my name is Asael. Okay. And that's basically, social media today is like a car. We use it to, social media drives society today, and that's why I think it's more helpful than harmful. It helps create global connections around everywhere. So to get started, according to Pew Research Center, an article made by Laura Silver and Christine Wong, they state that social media provides a major avenue for people to connect with friends, relatives, and accumulates relationships that they don't have on a regular day basis. And it also mentions that 46% of Facebook's users report seeing few or none of their friends in person or recently or regularly. And while 31% do. And I think this is really important because, like, number one, we have 41% is greater than 31%, or 46% is greater than 41%. And second, there's a lot of people that don't really feel comfortable, like, talking to people. Well, they do feel comfortable talking to people, but they just can't find a way to get to them around the world because they might not have a visa or a plane ticket. So social media is a good way that they can connect to people around the world. On top of that, as a personal experience, my uncle, who was Haitian, he had a nice role in the Haitian government. He was rich and stuff like that. And then something happened to him, like I had like a family trip. Sorry, it makes me started thinking about it. Like a Haitian gang came in and like took all of their stuff, and they had to immigrate to the U.S. And we could call WhatsApp a form of social media. So WhatsApp, we use WhatsApp to communicate, help them get a visa, and help them get to the U.S. Now they're stable now without social media to help us with that. My uncle wouldn't have a job; he would still be in Haiti. So that's one of the reasons why I think social media is also more helpful than harmful, because it can help bring people, your family, your friends close to you and stuff like that. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Negative side.
My name is Busy Bray. I'll be
I didn't hear it. What's your name?
Busy Bray, and I'll be talking about how social media is more harmful for society. Teenagers in the United States spend an average of 5 to 8.5 hours per day on entertainment media and smartphones, with over 50% of teens logging 4 or more hours of screen time daily. According to the National Library of Medicine, social media addiction is increasingly acknowledged as a significant factor impacting mental health. Prolonged use of these platforms have been linked to high levels of anxiety and depression, particularly among adolescents and young adults. Many individuals resort to social media as a coping mechanism to manage stress or loneliness. While these platforms can provide a sense of security, they often worsen feelings of inequity and isolation through constant comparison to others' curated lives. The infinite scroll feature is one of the most important design components. This feature makes it possible for users to explore content constantly and uninterruptedly, resulting in a smooth experience that promotes extended use. Infinite scrolling makes it simple for users to lose track of time and engage in prolonged platform sessions by doing away with natural stopping points like page breaks. This evidence supports my claim, since it talks about what social media does to your mental health, like how prolonged use of social media is linked to high levels of anxiety and depression.
Can't hear you.
Use of social media is linked to high levels of anxiety and depression, usually among young adults and teens. Social media algorithm makes people stay hooked on and for hours without running out of content to watch. In summary, social media is more harmful because of the effects it can do to people.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Shamia, and I'm here to talk about how social media is harmful due to its invasion of privacy. When you open an app and it asks you to track your location, what does that mean? Many people unwillingly give up their privacy to expedite convenience. Social media has a way of allowing people to subject themselves to exposure in ways that we might not even realize. There are people constantly monitoring us, not only just our followers online. For instance, an article titled "Privacy Risk in Social Media" cautions readers that user data is collected, analyzed, and monetized by social media companies. The article noted that data could be misused. The collection of our data goes to show that social media companies don't care about our privacy. They use the data that they collect from us to boost engagement and make their platforms more addictive. But social media companies aren't the only ones watching what we do online. Attackers will combine what you post with public data to approach you in very realistic ways. Information technology shares. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. By giving hackers and scammers the tools they need to deceive us, we set ourselves up for failure. Having full transparency online makes you an easy target. Some things don't need to be shared with everybody. Speaking of being selective of who
Can
you
you speak
share.
up?
Speaking of being selective of who you share information with, do you ever feel like your own friends know too much about you? Amanda E. White talks about how actively monitoring and surveilling each other could be ruining our relationships. We were never meant to know what everyone was doing at all times, and we are now policing each other and ourselves, Amanda says. Although it may seem safer to constantly share your location with friends through social media platforms like Instagram, it may seem like a burden on your privacy. What happens when you are at a location that wasn't discussed with your friends? You would have rather kept your reasons for being there private, but now that your friends can pinpoint exactly where you are, you feel obligated to share your formerly private experience. Constant supervision makes connections ingenuine. As users continue to encourage oversharing and data collection, privacy is transformed into an increasingly fragile concept.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll have Jazzy and Trinity for the affirmative side, and then Rachel and Mariah for the negative side. All right, affirmative side, you guys are up.
Did you know that 70% of people use social media for entertainment? Hi, my name is Trinity, and today I will be explaining why I believe social media is more helpful than harmful to society. Social media is the new face of entertainment. According to the Wall Street Journal, 56% Gen Z and 43% millennial believe social media content is more relevant to them than traditional content like TV, shows, and movies. 55% of viewers ages 18 to 34, 50 and up also use online platforms for entertainment purposes. Social media enables enjoyable moments that help users decompress their emotions, allowing them to relax and get a good laugh in that might make their day better just by watching funny and entertaining videos. While social media has its ups and downs, there are many benefits and positive impacts if you are around the right people and on appropriate apps. To sum it up, my evidence supports my claim because it shows that social media can have a positive result in others' lives. This information demonstrates that social media is a useful tool that many people choose to use for enjoyment and relaxation. This helps prove that social media is not only used for communication and connecting, but also can benefit users by providing a source of entertainment and helping them unwind after a long day. Social media offers multiple positive experiences for many individuals. This supports my belief that social media is more helpful than harmful to society. Thank you for listening to my argument.
Take a breath.
Social media. I don't know where I would be without social media. Social
I can't hear you. Just speak louder. Speakers at home, standing outside.
Social media. I don't know where I would be without social media. Social media isn't just an app to me. It's a platform that helps me get out of my comfort zone. In the article Building Community, it states over 5.66 billion people, nearly 70% of the global population use social media to connect with friends. Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I am here to explain why social media can build community and not end it. In a world increasingly driven by technology, social media in many ways does create a sense of community. For one, it provides a sense of community by providing spaces of people that think and have the same minds. According to the Center of Excellence, it states around 74% of teens ages 13 through 17 reported that social media made them feel more connected with their friends. This quote shows that more than half of the population of teens find themselves connecting with friends online. All in all, community is something that everyone should appreciate, and social media helps provide that stronger community. Overall, this shows that social media plays an important role of creating stronger communities and bringing people together. In conclusion, all my evidence shows that social media can have a positive impact on people around the world. The evidence that I have provided demonstrates that social media helps many teens maintain friendships and find somebody they connect with on a deeper level. Therefore, social media is an important of building stronger communities and social interaction.
Your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Rachel, and my claim is social media is more harmful to society. And my question to ask you is, have you ever been cyberbullied, or have your kids, if you haven't, been cyberbullied? Studies show that people get cyberbullied more often than others notice, proving why it's harmful. From the source Cyberbullying 101 Statistics, it states the most common forms of cyberbullying reported by adolescents is mean or hurtful online comments by 56%, online rumors by 53%, embarrassment or humiliation 50%, and finally, repeated unwanted contact via text or online by 42%. This further proves my claim because it shows social media can be very straightforward and unapologetic towards you, resulting in hurtful comments and going as far as telling someone to do harmful things to themselves through all types of platforms. From source Cyberbullying 20 Crucial Statistics for 2026, it states kids between ages of 10 and 18, 21% of parents claim that their kids have been cyberbullied. Although cyberbullying does not seem serious to most, it can affect mental, physical, and behavioral effects. This can impact the parents by giving intense, chronic stress, emotional distress, and more. And I would like to present this evidence.
And what is this evidence?
It's about, like, the statistics show the whole effects of what the kids are going
All
through.
right, what's this long report? What is that telling me?
It says nearly half of teens have experienced cyberbullying, with offense name calling being the most common reported.
What's the bottom bar telling me?
The bottom part is telling you percent of U.S. teens who say they have experience when online or their cell phone.
I'm gonna have you hand that to the court officer to look at, please. I can keep it? I can keep it? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. From Paul Research Center, it states nearly half of U.S. teens have been bullied or harassed online, with physical appearance being seen as a relatively common reason why. Online physical appearance is seen as a huge factor. This is because social media brings forward unrealistic beauty standards and constant comparison to others. In conclusion, social media is harmful because of its unrealistic demands and effect on society.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you ever felt the pull of social media calling you to participate in trends and online social circles? Well, Reagan Neal, a student from Centerville High School, did, but instead of succumbing to the call, he wished to escape the abyss of social media. My name is Mariah, and I'm explaining how social media fuels a nonstop need for validation by receiving likes and creating very unhealthy comparisons. Reagan Neal states that sitting on socials all day only made him feel like he could be doing more outside of the screen. He said, I could be doing so much more than just watching TikTok, like I was wasting my time. People are roped into the media, and it's hard to escape. My research showed me that Gen Z often feels pressure to join social media and gain public attention. According to Stride Learning, 34% feel social media pressure to become influencers, and 56% say their schools encourage them to explore careers like gig work, trade, or content creation. Young adults today are so greatly shaped by the media and influencer culture, so the craving to be in the public eye makes perfect sense. So some teens do recognize that there are other things they could be doing instead of having their nose buried in screens, but they don't do those things because they're already so involved in social media, being judged and feeling the tension of the internet. Social media does more harm than good, altering how we are compared to others and creating unfair standards or norms and causing people to crave the validation of the internet.
Thank you.
All right, that's round one. You guys can go back to your teams, talk. You have about a minute to gather yourselves, and then we'll begin with round two.
So before you open, I just want to remind you to keep your voices up. Again, you don't have to lean into the microphone, but I want you to project your voice. You don't have to yell at me, but talk to me as if I'm outside. There's cars passing by, so it's making it very difficult to hear everything you want to say. And I really want to hear your arguments so I can make sure I'm making the right decision.
All right, so round one, The affirmative side started, so we'll have the negative side start. So Cam and Sam will start, followed by Jose and Angelique.
Did you know that most students often text while doing homework, leading to lower quality and reduced long-term retention? Hi, my name is Sammy, and I'll be proving that social media is more harmful than helpful. According to the Child Mind Institute, it says, according to a 2017 study that found the mere presence of a smartphone reduces a person's ability to focus. In the study, undergraduates asked to leave their phones in another room did better on cognitive tests than those who were asked to silence their phones and leave them face down on their desk or in a bag. Also, according to Rutgers University, it says when students are allowed to use their phones, tablets, or other devices for non-academic purposes during classroom lectures, they perform worse in end-of-term exams. This shows that when you have your phone on you, you can't focus as much as if you didn't have your phone, meaning that you wouldn't be able to do really good in school and wouldn't be able to get a job that pays good. In conclusion, this proves that phones are more harmful than helpful.
Hello, my name is Cam, and I'm here to inform you of just how much of a bad influence social media can have on our society, specifically on the topic of the effects it has on self-esteem. Firstly, according to the National Library of Medicine, the overexposure of thinner, skinnier, and prettier models in ads, movies, television, and other video-dependent media directly affects self-esteem and plays a huge role in the development of eating disorders. Etiologic models incorporating environmental factors consider social pressure about physical appearance to be a determining factor in developing eating disorders, which is a perfect example of social media indirectly setting expectations on those who use it, causing negative results on people, specifically adolescents, which brings me to my next point. Secondly, according to the National Library of Medicine, studies show that it is apparent that the increase of social media usage has increased along with the rate of suicide in America. Hence, the increase of suicide rate parallels the simultaneous increase in social media use. In addition, the rate of non-suicidal self-injury ranges between 14% and 21% among young people, and these results have caused concern from both parents and teens about cyberbullying expectations conveyed through social media. About 1 in 5 teens who are at least somewhat concerned citing bullying in person or online, 17%, and 16 say that the pressures and expectations placed on teens today is what most negatively impacts teen mental health. Directly quoted from the Pew Research Center's article, Teens, Social Media, and Mental Health. In conclusion, based on the research I've done and the points I've made, I believe that social media is more harmful than helpful in our society. Thank you.
Social media is a way to communicate past geographical divides and meet new people. Humans are very social animals, and we need other humans biologically and psychologically for physical survival, mental development, and emotional well-being, as stated and researched by the Harvard Gazette. Nobody likes being lonely, after all. Here in the U.S., we have people from Mexico, Haiti, Cape Verde, Asia, and Africa. How are they going to contact their families? How are their families going to contact them? Human connection is just as important as food and water, researched and stated by the Hoffman Institute. The U.S. certainly is filled with many people, whether they're across the street or across the country. But what if you have problems with those people? Going back to the high level of anxiety health concerns, there are many real-life examples of people who found support groups on social media that helped them get through difficult times, like cancer patients connecting with others going through the same treatment, or military families finding others who understand what they're dealing with. Cyberbullying can be taken care of by being blocked. Parent controls on social media apps can also monitor and restrict use. Studying the cell phone can be group work. How am I supposed to know what I have to put on my Latin slides when Edward has all the notes? At Brockton High School, they have yonder pouches for us during tests like MCAS or AP and IB exams that restrict phone use and terminate it permanently.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jose, and my question for you is if you wanted to share a creative idea that you came up with, like a new song you made or a writing that you think has an emotional impact on you, the best way to share that would be through social media. I am here to prove that social media has shown to be beneficial to the uplifts of people's creativity. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, during the time of the pandemic and when everyone was in quarantine, we were all stuck in our homes and we didn't have much to do except go on online classes and maybe just sit at home and just find a way to have some enjoyment. However, through social media, we were able to find new hobbies that connect to a creative interest that we can have. For example, one of these are DIY projects that connect to our craftsmanship, while another example are viral trends that, although maybe wouldn't be so life-changing, could help people give the curiosity of what else they can learn and use maybe more than once. For example, like a new cooking recipe that they learn, they could see like what else they can learn and they can make at just the comfort of their own home. A statistic made by Pew Research states that about 7 in 10 teens, also known as 71%, say what they see makes them feel like they have a place where they can show off their creative side, and which was a statistic across demographic groups. This demonstrates that the feeling of trying out something creative is something felt by many people, but not many know where to start. And so going on social media can help them see and find a new interest that catches their attention that they never knew they would be engaged with. And so you can find many different topics that many people can find interesting. Overall, social media can show people a new way that they can, a new interest that they can find in a new hobby that they can be connected with that they didn't know that they would be without social media.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll have Jaslyn, and Asael, and then for the negative side, Jad and Alanya. Negative side, you're up.
Hello, my name is Jed, and I'm going to discuss about how social media use is harmful. Have you ever felt nervous going up to someone or noticed someone acting nervous when you are if you're having a conversation with them? A lot of that could be caused by social media use or an excessive use of it. An article written by the Grand Canyon University states that the increasing reliance on texting as a form of communication both makes communication easier and more convenient and encourages you to have less effort to actually go up and communicate with someone. And people having more abbreviated messages. I think this part of the article shows the convenience of not having to go up to someone when communicating with someone, which might seem like a good thing, but it does have its flaws. The thing is, if you're always talking to someone through a phone or by yourself in your own house, it could also reduce your social skills and also having more abbreviated messages can make you a little bit lazier and low effort, especially if you're going to go and communicate with someone in person, because it could reduce attention span and loss of nonverbal cues. And plus, another thing is that some people don't really show their face on social media sometimes, And this can also make them feel uncomfortable if they're actually like talking to anyone like in person. They might feel, you know, a little bit shy, or might feel, you know, they might feel like someone wouldn't, you know, and all that stuff. And honestly, this is why I think social media could be harmful.
Are you tired of witnessing the sheer blatant violence and erratic behavior happening around you when you're simply trying to get through life? Turns out most of that violence is a result of social media. Hello, my name is Alania Rodriguez, and I will be exposing how social media exposes people to violent tendencies. I have gathered various pieces of evidence, all directing towards social media exposing teens and young children to violent tendencies and behavior. My research shows that over 60% of teenagers see real-life violence on social media overall, and up to 70% of teenagers report encountering severe real-life violence, specifically on platforms such as TikTok, X, and Twitter. Now, let's dive into the music property of it. Your Honor, are you aware of the music nowadays compared to the 2000s? All of you aren't. A large section of music videos nowadays show people, mainly under the age of 30, flexing drugs like angel dust and marijuana, along with flexing popular guns and going to gang violence. Now, recently I was watching a music video from the 2000s to now, and one video in particular was drawn to my attention. It featured a black man who was singing about various violent actions, such as shooting at others, sexual assault, and other things. Turns out all of these things he listed in that video were very real things he committed and got taken to prison shortly after. Things like this influence hundreds, maybe thousands of teenagers. Not to mention, it gives a terrible and inaccurate representation of the Black and Spanish community as a whole, but that's a conversation for another day. As for my personal experience, I'm 15 and attend a high school with over 3,000 kids. Ironically, I also have social media, and because of this, I'm aware what's happening among my peers. Specifically, the amount of arguments that stem into fights. Most of these fights, especially between women, are caused from group chat arguments, targeted reposts, or something else that is 99% of the time petty. To close, I'm against social media being helpful because it exposes teenagers to violent tendencies.
Just before you sit down, what was the video? This 2000s video?
It was like, oh no, it wasn't 2000s. It was like now.
Oh.
It was now, but like I forgot what his name was, but he got arrested shortly after the video for committing all
Alright,
that.
it's your assignment to figure it out, let me know.
Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor. By the way, nice take on what Jed said about his argument. Good job for Jed there. So I'll be talking about how social media is more helpful than harmful, but in a different aspect, shyness. Social media has changed the way that millions of people communicate, and for many, it has made the world feel less lonely. One piece of evidence that social media helps shy people express themselves is online platforms give the people the ability to share their thoughts and feelings through typing instead of speaking face-to-face. A 2021 study found that adolescents who describe themselves as shy or introverted report feeling more comfortable sharing their opinions on social media than they did in real-life situations, like in school or parties. Apps like Tumblr, Reddit, and even Instagram allow people to post about their interests, struggles, and personalities without the fear of being judged in person. Many people who are too nervous to raise their hand in class or start a conversation at lunch have found communities online where they can feel accepted and understood. There are even stories of people who struggle with social anxiety, finding their first real friendships through online communities and build hobbies like gaming, art, or music. Even myself, I'm a musician. This evidence supports my claim social media is helpful to society because it shows not that everyone communicates the same way. Social media gives more people a chance to be heard during conversations. When shy or introverted people have a space where they can feel safe to open upon, they're able to build confidence and make friends and share ideas that the world may never heard otherwise. As another personal experience, confidence helped me get pretty far in my musical as a career. I was able to PR a lot of times in track, and I was very successful in Brockton High School Senior Jazz, winning 2 Jazz Gold Championships and 1 Wind Ensemble Gold Championship my freshman year. And that's what confidence helped me build. The study of showing growing that introverted adolescents feel more comfortable online proves that social media is not just fun, it actually feels a real need for people who struggle in traditional social settings. This is good for society as a whole because when more people feel included and able to express themselves, communities become stronger and more diverse. A quote from Abraham Lincoln's "United we stand, divided we fall." It's a pretty famous quote. Without social media, many shy people would stay silent and never find their people or discover their voice. That's why social media is more helpful than harmful, because it makes self-expression possible for everyone and not just the people who already are outgoing and confident.
Social media is one of the most powerful tools available to young people today. And one of its biggest benefits is how much it helps students learn. For example, YouTube has over 800 million educational videos on topics ranging from algebra, history, to coding and science experiments. Channels like Crash Course, Khan Academy, and TED Ed have hundreds of millions of views, which shows that students are actually using these videos to study and learn. TikTok has also become a surprisingly useful learning tool, with teachers, doctors, and historians and scientists posting short videos that explain different topics in just a few minutes. A 2022 survey found that 57% of students said they had used YouTube to help them understand something they learned in school. Many students say it is easier to understand a concept when they can watch someone explain and demonstrate it usually rather than just reading a textbook. These platforms are free and available 24 hours a day, meaning students can learn at their own pace whenever they need help. This evidence supports the claim that social media is helpful to society because it shows that platforms like YouTube and TikTok are not just entertainment. They are also powerful learning tools that millions of students rely on. The fact that over 800 million educational videos exist on YouTube alone proves that there is a huge amount of knowledge available to anyone with a phone or computer completely for free. This is especially important for students who might not be able to afford a tutor or go to school with a few resources, because social media gives everyone equal access to high quality education. The survey shows that 57% of students use YouTube to help with homework, and strong proof that this is already happening in real life, not just something that could happen. When students can watch a 5-minute TikTok that explains a concept that they were confused about in class, they are most likely to understand it better and do better in school. This benefits all of society because a generation of students who learn more and stay curious will grow up to solve bigger problems and have better opportunities. That is why the educational concept available on social media makes it much more helpful than harmful for our society.
All right, so now is the time where you gather with your teammates. You're going to pick apart what everyone has said through sharing your notes. Identify one person who is going to give the rebuttal to the opposing team, and then that will conclude the speeches made by you guys, and then the judge will give her decision. Does anyone have any questions? All right, you guys have about 10 minutes to gather with your teams. Make sure you're writing down what is going to be said. You guys can see it. Yeah, how you doing? Right now we'll have the person on the affirmative side come up, and then the person on the negative side come up.
Social media is not that big of a deal concerning many things. VPNs exist. You can get a job. It's the user's choice of what they do. Social media can prevent suicide. Your Second Amendment guarantees anyone over 18 or 21 can have a license for a gun. You can get a degree online, and some news apps show where criminals are. Your Honor, if I come up to you and I start selling you weed, are you gonna buy it? No, Because people are sensible these days. Social media has many, many ways where you can see what people are doing, why they're doing, and you don't have to fall into that trap. It's the user's choice of what they do.
Your Honor, as you know, there are not a lot of sensible people out there. There are drug addicts, there are alcoholics, there are tons of people who are addicted to these substances. Therefore, if you offer them weed, they will take it because they apparently need it, apparently. If we need people for physical survival, why do we seek digital connection over a screen? We can communicate like people have been doing for centuries, thousands of years, by going out face to face and talking to people. Literacy levels in the past 20 years have been dropping. I'm sure literally a lot of people, especially U5, use abbreviations in text, such as PPPL for people, whatever, no, WTV for whatever, and that can seep into our actual writing. If your school asks you to write an essay and you use the letter U instead of saying Y-O-U, that's clearly going to have a negative effect on your grade. Not to mention the AI factor of things is taking away people's creativity. AI was introduced mainly through social media. ChatGPT was established in 2022 and was mainly widespread through many social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And using that is dropping students' creativity. Literally, you can type in a prompt, write me an essay about history of law. Have it for you in seconds. Copy and paste that, put it on your paper, boom, you have it in 100. Let's not forget the suicide part of the matter. One close example is a girl who attended my old school. Her name was Nelina, and she was a victim of cyberbullying. For days, she'd post videos of herself, feeling confident about herself, posting feeling good, right? Her comments then would be filled with hate, pointing out her acne, pointing out this, pointing out that. And she'd show up to school the next day with a smile on her face, but people were completely unaware of what was going on inside her head. Days later, she succumbed to suicide, I think a couple days after Thanksgiving. So therefore, social media exposes people to many kinds of things, both good and bad. And oh yeah, and about the gun thing, many people can buy guns illegally. Tons of people sell, especially in a lot of more populated city areas, alleyways, this, that. There are many ways to get illegal things. People are smart and they will get what they want. That's it.
All right, thank you both. Consider, or you can rejoin your team. So this is hard. This is a really, really tough topic. I think both sides of the debate did a really good job using sources, right? You used the internet to research whether or not it was harmful or helpful. That says something. I think that both sides found ways to incorporate the sort of social impact of social media use, the emotional impact of social media use, as well as the educational impact of social media use. And all of you found ways to weave those things into your arguments. And I have sort of critique overall, but I have to say I'm really impressed with how much work you all put into what you did, how poised you all were, how clear you all were, how confident you all were. I asked Mr. Bisong if I could just call a tie. He was like, no, you have to make a decision. And I have to say I was really torn and not quite sure which side to choose until the rebuttal. And after hearing the rebuttal, I'm going to choose the negative side. And so let me tell you why I chose the negative side. I chose the negative side on rebuttal because I thought that the negative side did a great job of not only sticking to whatever the talking points were that you all had, but you also addressed exactly what you thought the positive side had told me or conveyed to me. Positive side, that puts you at a disadvantage, right? You don't have a chance to go after the negative side, and maybe you couldn't have anticipated what they were going to say, but I think that the negative side did a great job of challenging everything that you said, driving their point home, and just being really clear and confident. In court, for me, the attorneys that I find to be most persuasive are the ones that are confident, right? They're faking it till they make, even if they're dying inside and so nervous and shaking and on the verge of tears, they just present and project as if they know what they're talking about and they're confident. That's number one, is the confidence. Number two is preparation, right? If the attorney has to constantly go back to their notes or ask for a minute to double check, I'm wondering, what's going on. Maybe it's nerves, and that happens. I get nervous all the time, and sometimes I do have to stop and go back and check my sources. But the attorneys who show up prepared, knowing their stuff inside and out, not only their stuff, but what the other side might say or might do, those are the attorneys that I find to be most convincing. And so now, in saying that the negative side is one, I want the positive side to understand that you all had a really, really difficult argument to make, right? The issues that you all were advocating for, we're finding them being heard in courts right now. And you all know that, right? You have cases that are, Facebook is going to court right now, Instagram is going to court right now about the negative harms on young people. There are cases right now about the invasion of, who was it that talked about the invasion of privacy? There's a case at the Supreme Court right now about how far police can go to obtain our personal information that we just put out there, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And so I thought it was phenomenal that you all did a really good job tackling a really, really difficult topic. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, I really don't know what side I fall on. I think social media has a lot of great things about it, right? We use it all the time. I use it all the time. I use ChatGPT, don't tell anybody. Facebook was born when I was in law school, right? And so it's been a part of my development and my socialization as well. And there are a lot of great aspects to social media. We use it, it's shaped our world, right? But at the same time, there is that negative component of it, which I think we're trying to figure out as a society. To the point that the affirmative side made, people have free will. People can make choices, and you can choose what to do on social media, whether positive or negative or not. And I firmly believe that, right? We can't necessarily police everyone. At some point, people have to take accountability for themselves. And I think that that's what your argument was essentially getting at. And I totally agree with your side on that point. So that's why I made the decision that I made. I want you all to understand that every attorney, every debater, when they come in, understand that losing, right, is a part of it. But I don't want you to leave here thinking that that is a reflection of the work that you did, of the performance that you had. In every single case, someone is going to lose. That's just the way it works. That's just the way the law is. But what you need to reflect on and think about is, did you do your best? Did you speak as well as you could have? Were you as loud as you could have? Did you make the points that you wanted to make? And if you can leave here saying yes to those things, you did your job. You did your job. I didn't keep track necessarily of all the cases I lost when I was an attorney, but I can assure you I lost plenty of cases. I wasn't always confident. I wasn't always prepared. I didn't always have my stuff. And even if I did have all of those things, sometimes the jury just wasn't on my side, or the judge just wasn't on my side. And so what I did about that was just try to get better and better, but also understanding that sometimes the facts just don't work, right? Sometimes my best effort just didn't cut it, and it is what it is. And so you just want to make yourself better. They say every lawyer tries 3 cases for any particular one case that they have. The first case you try is the one in your head before you get to court, because you're thinking, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that and it's going to come out this way. And then you get into court and none of the things you thought were going to happen actually happen. It comes out totally differently. And then you go home, and on your way home, you're like, oh man, I should have said this, or I said I was going to say that, but it came out this way. And that's just common. So if you leave here with those thoughts, that's common, right? That's a part of the process. I thought, like I said, you all did a phenomenal job tackling a very, very difficult and I think controversial topic. And I'm glad that Mr. Basong, or you all rather, chose this topic rather than the one that had been worked on for years and years, because I think that this topic speaks to you all where you are in your lives. And I hope that you've learned something about the positive and negative aspects of social media, and that you are more responsible in your social media use, and you're more considerate of others in your social media use, and that you're taking care of yourselves more importantly. I think one of the things that really impacted me listening to you all was just, the mental health aspects of it. Mental health is really, really important, and so I hope you all are taking heed to those warnings. That's it. That's it. I want you all to take a breath. Feel good about your work, what you did.